Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Comedian's Tea Party. This episode I have got Alexis Dubus, who many of you may instead know as Marcel Lucont, who is just an incredible character act. Plays the most dry, droll French character act you ever could see. Is absolutely incredible. What I love about this episode in particular, like the episode with Nathan Caton, for instance, like these are people who I was into before I even started comedy, so it's just a real pleasure to have him on, and it's a really lovely chat. Really enjoyed it. Now this is likely to be the last one, possibly this year, definitely before Christmas, because that is in, well, what day is it now? It's in like 2 or 3 days or something whenever I'm releasing this. I'm not sure what day it is. Yeah, I probably won't get one out next week, but we'll see. But yeah, so almost definitely the last one this year, and then I'll probably be a bit slow getting back, but it's a good one. It's a good one to listen back to. And listen back to all the old ones. Let me know which ones are your favourite episodes, maybe. You know, that'd be a good thing to do. Now, before you get further into this, I will warn you, there is some bad language in this episode. Not a lot. Just giving you a warning just in case there's kids listening. There's a couple of moments where I have something that I've never experienced before, where the recording software just stopped altogether. And where that happens, I've tried to fill it in as best I can. Some of it just doesn't make sense, so I've just put into a little bit of bird song. So in case you hear some bird song, that's what happened. The sound cut out. It only happened 3 times, I think. So yeah, but it's fine. It pulls together. Talk about Red Dwarf and Setlist, which if you've never seen Setlist, we do talk about it to sort of some extent, and it explains what it is, but it's absolutely incredible. And if you're a fan of comedy of any kind, then go and watch it, because it's amazing. It's got like Robin Williams on there, as well as like loads of other people: Russell Kane, Ross Noble, Drew Carey, Hannibal Buress, all sorts. There's loads. There's just incredible acts on there, so go and check that out. That's very good, as well as Alexis, of course. We talk about earwigs, and in doing so, right, I've got to point out some of the things I was saying. That is based on what I saw as a child. I saw earwigs with one pincer. It's not a pincer, it's called Circe. I did see those, and I was told one thing about it. It's one of those things, like when you're told as a child, you just go, yeah, that's true. You believe anything you're told, don't you? And I never did the research to find out otherwise. It's actually the shape of them that denotes sex, species, and sometimes age. And shortly after that, I forget the word caveat. So in case you're wondering what I'm trying to think of, actually I edited it reasonably well, so it's not too obvious that I spent ages trying to remember what the word was, but the word was caveat is what I was looking for. And also, whilst we're on the subject of earwigs and caveats does make sense there, look up tardigrades. They're absolutely incredible. Tardigrades, oh brilliant. What a ridiculous. And also, it's worth looking them up whilst you're listening to that part of the conversation, so that makes sense, because without seeing what they are, if you don't already know, it'll blow your mind. And also look up eternal jellyfish, which I'm yet to do, but I imagine they will be equally interesting. Now, for the future, in case I ever bring it up, obviously, I've got my teamergency questions, and I think if I have a little section where I start sort of looking up what people have done work-wise, and just on IMDb or Google or whatever, I want to call it Wikipedia. So that's likely to come in. If I ever mention Wikipedia, that's what that is. Just wanted to say it now because I was excited. We both mentioned our Ko-fi pages during the episode. I'll put the links to both of those in the podcast description. But yeah, you got kofi.com/Alexis Dubus, and likewise /Deaves. And if you can help us out at all, we've been crippled by coronavirus this year, as have many people, but you know, our industry's disappeared. So if you can help out, it will really help me carry on the podcast and that sort of thing. So really appreciate any donations that you make. Come back at the end for links and that sort of thing. And otherwise, I mean, if you don't listen through to the end, have a lovely Christmas. But listen through to the end because it'll be nice. But do have a lovely Christmas or festive period if you don't do Christmas. And a lovely New Year if you can. Obviously, what with the recent TL4 news, do what you can. Just talk to your friends and tell your family you love them. And hopefully that will get you through. Thanks for listening, guys. See you at the end. Enjoy. Yes, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. Let me.
Yeah, good. I feel like I was about to say something, but I don't know what it was.
Well, I should hope so, given what we're about to do. I just hope you're going to say can't be all me. That would just
No,
be.
so I just say hello and let you go at it.
Yeah. I like that. Just see how
Real
fun.
awkward conversation.
To be fair, most comics would probably just go until you said stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like
That's what I'm like on car shares. I get in and say, "Oh, how are you doing?" Just go.
Boom. Oh, we're there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We get on stage. Now, listen.
Yeah. Go on.
No, do you know what? We'll just go. It's fine. I was just going to say I've got to leave the house at about 4.
Sure. No, that's fine. Yeah. So no, that's all right. Yeah, we've got time to record for about an hour or so. I'm just gonna double check this is recording, because we're all good. I have. It's fine when you're in person because you can see it all sort of live, and I've only got that screen in front of me. But when I've got Skype in front of me, I don't always pay attention to the recording software. And then
that's the most important bit, not our faces. No one cares about that podcast.
Two times now I've started recording a podcast and realised that it's not recording.
Oh, you're joking!
Yeah.
Like, at what stage of said podcast?
Well, I had Matthew Crosby the other day. It's about 25 minutes in.
No.
Thankfully, he didn't have too much in the way of time constraints, so we carried on talking for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And Jamie Lenman, a musician from a band called Reuben, he's like my favourite musician, so that was just nerves that made that happen. That was about 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know his wife.
Oh, do you? Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I suppose you move in similar circles.
Yeah, the old cabaret scene.
Oh, yeah. I know. Well, I know her as Katie.
Ah, right. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, obviously I know her as Katie. I know you as Alexis. And Marcel.
Many people don't. Yeah.
I
still get people. It's really weird. I get people who knew me from pre-Marcel days still calling me, Marcel. And sometimes they correct themselves. Sometimes they just go on.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny. Because I know as both a comedian and a man.
Right.
But I, for the life of me, always forget his real name.
Hold on. I do know it.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, bollocks.
I was trying to remember in a conversation the other day. Just escapes me completely.
I want to say Ashley, but it's not Ashley. It's what the fuck is it? Is it to begin with A?
I don't know.
Has it got a waffle detector on?
Sorry, you're talking too much nonsense.
Yeah, just no one needs to hear.
Yeah, that's fine. That's really weird. I'll have to keep an eye on that. That just cut out for a sec, but hopefully it won't do it again. That's never happened before.
No, sure.
So
yeah.
Yes. All this, I've not done the intro. I'm aware of that. Also, it occurred to me earlier today that I've got an intro, which I'll do now, which is hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Comedian's Tea Party with Deaves, with me, Deaves, and this episode I have Marcel Lucont.
Yeah,
I threw you in the deep end. Sorry,
you don't. No. You do not have Marcel Lucont. He's in a bag currently next to me. I'll be taking him in about an hour's time off to Sussex.
Oh, cool. Oh, Alexis Dubus, by the way, is the man behind the man.
There are people who have no idea what we're on about, and so far, like a minute into the podcast, I've got a man in a box that I'm taking to Sussex.
Yeah, sure. We'll do it sometimes.
Yeah. No explanation.
No,
required.
No, it's fine. No. So for those that don't, I mean, I'll explain in the introduction. Oh, that's what I was going to say anyway, because I do that introduction there, but I also start the introduction in pretty much the exact same way. So I don't say your name and then wait for a response. So that would be bizarre. Be sitting.
Have we started yet?
Yeah, we started. Oh, the whole thing. Yeah, generally. So the way I edit this is everything stays in pretty much. I'll edit out the ums and the ers and the slanderous, libelous stuff.
Oh, that's still to come. There'll be plenty of that.
Yeah, well,
don't
sometimes
you worry about that.
Sometimes I beep it out. Sometimes, if it doesn't incriminate me, I'll leave it in.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, for those who don't know, even though I will have already explained this, Alexis is also commonly known as Marcel Lucont, the character act. And what was I going to ask about that?
Which I live in fear, by the way. I live in fear of being introduced like that. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a cracking character act.
Oh no, yeah.
It's happened once, and it was
really
awful. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Carry
on. Did they just force you to be Marcel for the whole?
Oh no, just as an intro. It's like
right.
I don't know. It just because obviously I try and pass him off as a real Frenchman
of course.
person, and suddenly it just completely undermines everything. Here's a guy putting on an accent and a
Yeah.
stupid suit.
Because for a long time, I thought you genuinely were French.
Good. Well, there you go, job done then.
Yeah, and then when I saw your real name, I thought, oh, he is French. That's definitely a French name.
Yeah, that is definitely in my favour. That I have a French name and face.
Yeah. I mean, I don't generally. I'm not one to sort of talk about process or whatever. But how did you come up with that?
It's in the blood, so it's kind of like my granddad was French, and I suppose subconsciously. The meetings that I had with him, it sounds like a very formal relationship. Yeah, an allotted time we would meet in an office. No, like from early memories of him, I suppose. He was a South Londoner, but he could switch on the accent, and it was like a little party trick, I suppose. And I found it very funny. And the first inception of Marcel was a comedy club that I used to run many moons ago in London Bridge, and it was an experimental night, and the whole premise was no straight stand up, had to be weird shit.
Right. Okay.
So I thought that was a fun person to host, as someone with that sort of attitude of not really caring who the next act was and not really injecting any energy into proceedings. And I thought, well, it's got to be French, isn't it?
Nice. Do you ever run into any sort of issues with French people? Like, does anyone take offence or anything?
I had a weird one in Melbourne, of all places, and it wasn't a French person, it was an Australian reviewer who described the act as racist. Which, like, it was the first and only time I've written to a reviewer to say, excuse me, what's that about? Because she didn't specify how I was being racist. That was the thing. It was like, it was just blanket term. And it was at Melbourne Comedy Festival years ago, and I had to I wrote and just said, first, can you not call me that, as a woolly liberal, you know, for whom that is quite the term to be applied to. And could you clarify as well what you think I'm being racist towards? Because there were bits where I sort of, there was a little section where I talked about Australia Day, and I talked about, I was just very sarcastically sort of talking about how it was this celebration for Aboriginals to, you know, for Australians for the celebration of when they overthrew their Aboriginal masters. You know, and a celebration of freedom from that, and you know, it was, and so just a completely sort of sarcastic routine. So I thought, oh God, do they think I'm being racist towards Aboriginals? And then I thought, oh no, maybe they think because I'm taking the piss out of Australians, I'm being racist towards them. And it turns out, no, she thought I was being racist towards the French because of all the stereotypes. And yeah, of course it is, but that's kind of what a spoof should be. You know, I'm playing up all of the characteristics of the French that people love to hate. And I've had various people come up to me going, oh, I've known many a Marcel in my life. You know, I people who've, like, the best one was, I've divorced a Marcel before.
Amazing.
I used to have a Marcel as a husband. I've worked with a Marcel. I've, you know, French people, you know, these people do exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
That people still wear the roll necks around Paris, puffing away on boudoirs and writing poetry, and it's wonderful when you spot them. But anyway, and she said, I think the stereotype is racist towards the French. And the first thing I pointed out, obviously, was that the French aren't a race.
That is xenophobia.
Yeah, get it right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was weird. I had last night actually a French girl in the front row trying to catch me out.
Oh.
And sticking a hand up, very politely, etiquette, you know, sticking the hand up and just going and going, d'où viens-tu, France? And okay, and let's play this game. And I have a whole backstory of Marcel, obviously, and I told her where I was from in France, and we had a chat, and she still looked a little bit quizzical. I think it's because, however much I've refined the accent over the years, it's still, to a French person, a bit off.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really know where my French accent is from. It would be like someone trying to do generic English.
Yeah, sure.
And it doesn't quite fly. So I think, I can't really use the excuse of my, you know, I've been in England many years, you know, my accent's eroded, because that just never seems to happen for the French. They retain that accent like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
But I think,
that's funny.
In my mind, as long as I can convince the rest of the audience that I am, then it's
or
you. Then job done.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you know, you're playing to sort of largely English audiences. So
yeah. And the fun ones, obviously, are the ones where they don't know it's a character at all and get very pissed off that there's a Frenchman trying to make him laugh. It's usually Kent.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Kent.
Yeah, that does sound about right. Yeah, we put up a bridge. I don't know, but no, not a bridge, a tunnel. I was trying to make some kind of reference to Dartford Crossing.
Yeah, the old
It hasn't
Euro
worked.
bridge.
Yeah. So, well, they're trying to become their own thing, sort of within Brexit, aren't they? Or is that debunked? I can't remember. I saw it in the news a while ago.
Today. They're trying the news today of Macron trying to basically make Brexit a lot harder for the English.
Oh no, I didn't know about that. No, there was a thing where Kent had its own rules unto Brexit. So for trucks coming in and out, they had to have an extra sort of visa to go through Kent or something like that. I didn't read the article properly.
Yeah, it's. I can't wait to do a gig in Kent again, just so I can sort of properly mock that aspect of the Garden of England becoming the toilet of England. It's there's a lot of fun to be over that as Marcel. But yeah, it's they were trying to. Yeah, there's all sorts of hoops they're now trying to jump through to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, I think there was talk of Kent becoming technically part of France, which would piss them off even more.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, anything where Brexit inconveniences the English and benefits the French is playing right into my comedic hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brexit has been a sort of gold mine. Well, it's sort of been a gold mine for me. I think there was definitely a period where, even as Marcel, I would start just doing gigs where I barely mentioned it at all, or I'd wait until the end with people. Obviously, people think, well, it hasn't. People are just sick of hearing of it, but it's the Frenchman hasn't mentioned it, so I do one final bit at the end and then piss off.
Nice.
But yeah, there was definitely a little bit where even as Marcel, people, maybe especially as Marcel, people really were just so sick of it in any form. Yeah. There was no comedy you could wring from it, and people just wanted to block it out and not hear about it.
Have you had anything where people have said, go back home, where they've really thought you were French?
Yeah, definitely. There's a particularly tricky one in there's a place called Leatherhead.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awful. Just hatred. Actually, the most fun one. No. This is a good one. There was I got booked in to do a Beaujolais Nouveau lunch at a working men's club somewhere near Southampton. It was not really a working men's club. That gives it the wrong sort of vibe. But it was sort of older folks.
Yeah.
A sort of a club down there, and I got there and I was asking the guy. I think the guy was going, "Oh, what do you need on stage?" And I said, "Oh, well, you've seen me, just the mic and stand." And he goes, "Oh, no, I've not seen your act." I was like, "You booked me." It's the weirdest thing, and it was decent money, and it was for it was a half-hour set, and they'd laid out a lovely spread. I had a lovely meal, lovely glasses of Beaujolais and flowing, and they'd had Can girls. Then they had it was nice start. Then they had a guy that came on, real old school comic, absolutely lovely bloke, doing very old school gags, sort of Jethro style gags, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then weirdly playing Beatles numbers as well. It was an odd act, but it went down a storm. They loved him, and he was very charming, and he was great. And then and then I had to follow that, and it was just this. They took it absolutely at face value, just this rude Frenchman coming in, and you could see people slowing down as they ate, like chomping on the roast beef slower, with growing anger in their eyes. And I mean, I looked at my watch, maybe 7 minutes in. I did a watch check then, and it's like, oh God, I've got 23 minutes left. Oh, good God.
Right, sorry. Go on. Tin to them. Let's go from there.
All right. I'm throwing out all the gold and to my gold, and there's just none of it's landing at all. I'm just getting increasing anger in their mannerisms, in their eyes. They even and then a woman I think she actually genuinely did say, "If you don't like Britain, why don't you go home?" or something.
Oh no!
So these are jokes. This is a comedy. It was, oh my word! And it was and the worst part of this gig was, well, it got worse and worse and worse, and just left to slow hand claps or nothing at all, and just anger. And it was, I didn't realize this as well. I was just ready to go out the door, get on my train, and never talk of this again, and then send him the invoice. But it was paid in cash.
Oh man!
The guy who owned the club, the guy's dad, who booked me. He booked me, and it was the dad's club. He sort of had to slowly put notes in my hand while staring me out. and that's it. And I just folded them up and just left.
Oh, Jesus.
I just there was nothing I could have done. Nothing I could have done. But it was just like you could have watched a 5-minute YouTube clip.
Yeah.
They'd obviously looked on Google and gone, French comedian, UK. It'll do.
Yeah.
It's just, there you are. I think I genuinely did get a why don't you go home to France. Heck.
Amazing. That leads into sort of another question that I was wondering about, because like with the style that you are, like that sort of any level of sort of hatred sort of I always thought would play into your hands, because like you're good at sort of dealing with that. But...
It does if I've got 3 tables of people enjoying it.
Yeah.
Maybe even 1. I didn't even have that.
Yeah.
I think there was one old guy who was quite into it, but he kept getting evils from his wife, who was just like, and it was quite fun. So I was sort of mentally playing to him.
Yeah.
And sort of enjoying the soul.
Oh no.
Is it cut out again?
Well, that wasn't the recording that time. That was Skype.
Let me try. I'm going to close everything but Skype. There we go. It should be right. That shouldn't have happened anyway. Anyway, there we go. Where were we? I was fleeing Southampton. I've already done that. You were asking me about
dying and it playing into your hands.
Playing into my hands. Yeah. So if there's so I was enjoing the we're still in. I haven't left Southampton. Here we go. We're still there.
Yeah.
So that the sole little smidgen of amusement that I got from it was me just, I suppose, playing to this old guy and just trying to get a reaction from him that would piss his wife off.
Yeah.
That's not a good gig,
funny.
is it?
That's the like I've had that before. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm enjoying this, and I turn around and see no one else is, and like I'm not allowed to enjoy this in this. Like I've become as much of an outcast as the person.
Yeah. Well, you see, like as me, I haven't sort of really done stand up as me for quite some time, but back in the day, I would have, I suppose, tried to have a chat, ramped up the friendliness.
As you,
as me, pretended that I was enjoying it or trying to kind of just acknowledge the situation. But being Marcel, I have to have that absolute superiority. So if they're not enjoying it, they're just not understanding it, or they're not culturally ready for it, or whatever. Yeah. So I double down, if anything.
Yeah.
I have no way to meet them halfway. You know, I would much rather have a rowdy crowd that are baying for blood than an apathetic crowd that are just emanating hate.
Yeah.
Silence. I can't do anything. I can't feel the silence. I can only create more silence. So, you know, if it's the opposite, like I said, if it's a rowdy crowd, I become a teacher. I keep my cool most of the time, and I stand there like a brick wall for them to fling their shit at, and then wipe myself down metaphorically and carry on. And just stare them down. Or at one time at a late and live gig where that happened, I just kind of stood there for, I think it was about 2 or 3 minutes, and just like waited for the storm to kind of just dissipate. And I just stopped and went, you realise I am getting paid for this. And it started again, and then it and it was wonderful, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's great. And then I picked off one heckler at a time and just
great,
waited for them to go solo.
Yeah. You said you generally don't lose your shit, but has that happened?
Do you mean anger-wise or composure?
However you want to answer that. Both ways.
Both ways. I've certainly, like in the early days, there was a horrible one that was it was my first weekend up the creek, and I'd had a lovely Friday one, and then the Saturday one was a shocker. I mean, it was so bad that Terry Alderton walked off after less than 10 minutes.
Oh wow!
You know, I've never seen him do that at all before or since.
Yeah.
Like he's a solid, hardcore, impenetrable act, and he just went
unbelievable powerhouse.
Yeah, he just went, you know what, fuck you all, and put the mic down and just walked off. It was that playable. So it was a big rugby group mainly, and it was just I was probably visibly shaking. I know I was. I did my time, but it was under the barrage of booze for the final, 5 minutes of it at least. And I felt like I had to do my time. And bless her, Jane, who was running it at the time, called me up a couple of days later and said, "Oh God, I heard what it was like. I wasn't there, but in the future, just don't well, don't worry about doing your time. If they're being pricks, just walk off. You're better than that.
That's
and that
so
was really,
kind.
yeah, it was lovely. It was really heartwarming because that was my first. I'd only just started doing Marcel, and I'd never had that level of. I'd had a bit of animosity, but not sort of that level of noise, not that barrage of noise. So it's that if I'm overpowered audibly, it was just me talking. I could barely hear my own voice.
Yeah,
through the mic, through the PA. It was
Jesus.
Yeah. So I've maybe signed off with. I probably did there as well. Actually, I think I did. I think I said for those who have listened. Thank you for those who you know who you are. I can't wish death on you quickly and something like that. And I let the anger, it wasn't a very, or maybe it was a Marcel way of putting it. But I know there've been times where I know my wife's been in the audience and she's seen me have a tricky one, and I've come out with something that is probably not as Marcel, that is in no way well put or poetic or something, or I've had a difficult gig and I've kind of maybe blamed the audience and actually she's gone, you didn't do that in a Marcel way, that was definitely you coming out. And I was like, yeah, it was, yeah. So I'm annoyed at myself for not dealing with it in character, I suppose. But I've never I think I've ever really got angry because it's not I've kept that level of Marcel. That's not the superiority only remains if I keep my cool, very much like a teacher.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, of course. Nice. Right, I had a follow-up question and I've just forgot what it was. So it's rather the vibe of what I do.
Sure.
Just occasionally. Yeah.
Oh, look, just it's what the listeners want. If they want more, if they had this and they want more, then we are giving it to them.
Oh yeah, they love it. Have you ever had to break character?
I don't think. No, there've been a couple of moments where that thought has flashed into my head. There was someone who told me in the early days. They said, "Oh, it would be really funny if you just at the end just went into your normal accent and dropped it completely." And I was like, "No, that wouldn't be funny at all." I think I think people would feel really cheated by that.
Yeah, it'd undermine it.
Completely. It seems very ha ha ha, aren't I clever? Look at you, like I've fooled you all. And I think it would give it weirdly a too smug an ending, which I know that seems very strange for a very smug and self-centered character, but it would be me doing the smugness, and it wouldn't feel right. I've never agreed with that. I don't think that would work. There've been times like that Beaujolais Nouveau one where I've thought of just doing like a very Shakespearean or sort of theatrical turn of just you can't see that on a podcast, but I'm revealing a mask, taking off the mask and kind of leaning in and going, "This is an act," and then back on, and then anyway, where were we? Or not even that, just go straight into another. And I wonder how that would fly. I wonder if people would then go, "Oh," or whether they would still go, "No, but we still don't like you. We still don't like what you're doing. Whatever this is, no."
That'd be the worst. So, at least if you don't do that, at least you can go home in the knowledge that they didn't like the act. They still like you. It's fine.
But to have that level of vulnerability as well, of just going, "This is me, guys. I'm just a man, man in front of you, trying to get laughs." And then back there, and then they go, "No, we didn't even enjoy that." I've done it. I did it once as a non-accidental thing. I did it for Alternative Comedy Memorial Society, where I halfway through routine, I just turned Welsh. And I did exactly the same act, but just the routine that I was going to do anyway, but just in a Welsh accent and didn't mention it. I just thought it'd be a fun experiment to do. And again, that was in the fairly early days of Marcel, and people were a bit like taken aback by it, and I really enjoyed that reaction. But of course, that's an alternative comedy night where people relish that sort of thing. I'd never do it on the circuit.
Failure is encouraged.
Failure is encouraged, exactly. Yeah,
it's a great night. Right, what tea are you drinking?
Well, you sent me 3 wonderful teas. I should explain, and you know this full well now. I'm not a tea drinker. I'm not a tea or coffee drinker. I'm a very bad Englishman and Frenchman in that respect. I've never got into it. I've never got past that initial taste of it. No, still don't drink coffee. My northern wife thinks I'm very bizarre. Her parents even more so, from Yorkshire, and I think they said that initially when she told them, she just went. They went, well, what does he drink then? It was just like, who is this weirdo that's come into your life? You sent me, so I replied anyway. Yeah, so I said to you, didn't I? The only tea I've ever enjoyed was Moroccan mint tea.
Yes.
I don't think really counts. It's like a load of mint leaves in hot water with a shitload of sugar.
Yeah.
So thank you. So you sent me hold on. Very kindly, sorry, because of the COVID post, I've only just received them. So a Marrakesh mint from Tea Pigs, which I had this morning and very much enjoyed. Although it, I hope this isn't oversharing here. Gave me luminous piss.
Oh, did it really?
Very luminous. I've never known, even more so than a Barocca. If you can imagine such a thing.
So I've only ever had that one once, and so on the day that I had that,
to you. So it's just me.
No.
See a doctor immediately.
No, well, I don't know if it happened to me. My piss is normally luminous. No,
it's a good party trick.
It's not. Yeah, sure.
Parties.
Yeah. Very specific parties.
Yes. Not
welcome at a christening. On the day that I had that. That was the third podcast that I'd recorded in that day. So I'd had quite a lot of tea already, and by the time I had that one, it made my face itch.
Oh, right, the old Marrakesh itchy mint tea.
Yeah, so I've not had it since, out of fear that it will make my face itch again, because it felt real weird.
I reckon it had been spiked.
Maybe.
Yeah, it might have been spiked with something, I don't know. Like, was the packet open?
Yeah, fully open. Yeah, there were syringes hanging out.
Yeah, that's what's happened. They'll do that. Well, I've got two more here that you sent, and I was going to do some live brewing. I don't know if that's done before. I thought that might be the exciting content that people are
absolutely, yeah,
in 2020. I've got another Tea Pigs one, the peppermint leaves, which sounds good because that sounds like I actually had the Marrakesh one. I had the mint tea one with a little dairy milk bar, and it felt like an after eight. It was lovely.
Yeah, lovely.
I enjoyed it. It was really nice, actually. I didn't even have to put that too much sugar in. I really enjoyed it. I've got peppermint leaves on from Tea Pigs. I've got this Twinings one, which is spearmint, apple, and rooibos with baobab.
Yes.
Which I think I've got to go for that. Really. It's
exciting.
It's quite exciting, isn't it? I've no idea whether I'll enjoy this. I sort of enjoy two of those things separately. Spearmint and apple, and I can't say I've ever had rooibos or any baobab in my life at all.
No.
So it could be a very interesting. We'll do this. Here we go. Just open this one, and I'll pop a brew on. Can't even get into it. There we go. See, I'm not a tea drinker. I can't even get into the packet.
I mean, it's the same as an envelope, really. You can
sort of. There we go. So I'll just pop the kettle on. You can just enjoy the silence here. Hold on.
Yeah. For the listeners, he's got up and he's walked towards his kettle. Proper kettle.
There we go. So that's on, and
yeah. I just remarked on the fact that is a proper kettle in that you're heating it up on a gas hob.
Yes. My wife's idea. It takes about 10 times the length of time to do so, and probably uses up a hell of a lot more energy to do it. So
yeah, I'm not sure it would actually. Gas is reasonably inexpensive,
but as it's more the time it takes.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
To heat it up. Anyway, we'll hopefully experience that in real time. Let's carry on chatting, and I'll
absolutely.
We'll do the live brew.
For the sake of anyone that's listening who is interested, I'm having a Twinings Focus, which is mango and pineapple with ginseng.
And
plus
a dash of cocaine.
Vitamin B6. Yeah.
That tight focus.
Yeah. My personality is really... No, I don't know what I'd be like on cocaine. I've got no interest in finding out. I think I'd be quite unbearable.
Well, my worry is that this is now my second tea of the day, and someone who's not used to it, I think I did have a mild rush in the morning. Because I'm not used to it. I sort of, it's like someone who sort of doesn't smoke that then just puffs on a cigarette and goes, "Whoa, that's quite," but sort of 20 a day person. It's nothing.
That's a Marlboro Red.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this, this could be interesting. My second tea of the day. Someone who doesn't drink tea, and someone who's about to get on a southern train to go to Sussex with which rarely have toilets.
Oh, really? That's
it's not a long journey.
Not pleasant.
But let's see how the bladder copes with this, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm off to do an actual live stage show, which I'm very excited about.
Nice. Is that yesterday was live as well? Was it?
It was. Yeah, I've been doing all right with the live. I had one last night and the night before. Hang on, did I have one night before? No, I didn't. I made that one up. Yeah, so last night, straight into it, post lockdown. It's
yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was top secret last night, which was a lot of fun. And I had I was waiting to go on, and a very excitable youth came up to me and asked to have a photo. I was all in Marcel regalia, although actually in just my standard shoes, which looked very odd, just in sort of big clumpy sort of mountaineer shoes.
Yeah,
which did not complete the look. I normally go on stage barefoot, and it was just like just hanging out. And anyway, he just came up to me and said, I had a photo taken, and he just went, "Oh, my dad's your biggest fan." And so I sort of had that like sort of ego boost as I went on, but also felt incredibly old.
Yeah.
Before I went and played, it's quite a young audience there anyway. But it's
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be that. I don't know. Well, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Like, but where's his dad?
He wasn't 12.
No, of course. No, I didn't mean that.
That's a good point. Yeah, why is your dad not there? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If he's such a big fan, why is he not here?
Yeah, frankly.
Just lazy. Yeah. Right. I like to check out people's IMDb's when anyone has been on the television of any sort. And so you were in Red Dwarf.
I was in Red Dwarf for one episode with the brilliant Kevin Eldon. Oh, great. It ticked so many comedy boxes for me from different parts of my life. It was, I was basically just sort of frenzily texting all my schoolmates and sending little pictures of the, of Starbug. Because I didn't realise it's all shot. The two sets that they have, it's still so low budget. The two sets are just next to each other in front of a live audience. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's amazing. It's brilliant. Of such geeky and enthusiastic laughers and clappers, you wouldn't believe. It's incredible. Most comedians would kill to have an audience like the Red Dwarf audience.
Yeah,
it was great. And and getting to work with Kevin Eldon, who I'd done live shows with, but to be filming something with him was it was delightful. He's just such a thoroughly lovely, talented chap.
Oh, nice. I love Kevin Eldon. I talk about him all the time.
Yeah.
And my fiance is like every time he's in everything.
Sure.
Like, it's just
as he should be. He should be in more things.
Absolutely, yeah.
Should be in
it's just got like a feature part in so many things. I'm like, oh, it's Kevin Eldon.
That's right.
And my fiance was always like, why do you always talk about him? I'm just like, he's so good. You just don't understand.
Yeah. So that was it was such an exciting day. Yeah, it was a few Christmases ago actually.
Yeah.
About
2016.
Yes, it was. Yeah, but I was going to say about 4 Christmases ago that we filmed that.
I've got it written in front of me.
Got it in front of you. I'm going to cut you off there for the next IMDb chapter because the brew is about to be brewed. We've got.
I'm very exciting.
Kettle's done its thing. Just going to go and get it.
Nice.
Okay. I hope you can just hear that. There we go. Pretty certain this is how you do it, isn't it? It's just the.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The bag and the water there. See. Practically an expert now. First tea bag of the day. So there we go. And that is brewing, as we say in the business.
Oh yeah, that is it's steeping. That's also a word that people use. I'm not sure what that means, but it's a word I've heard, and it sounds good.
Steeping.
Yeah.
Sounds northern. It's probably northern.
Yeah, it could be.
Anyway.
Yeah. Let's blame it on them. I must have seen it. I've watched all of the set list, like episodes of set list. And I must have seen you on it, but I didn't realise you were on it.
I was, yeah. I was. I can't remember what episode, but it was. I was going to. They only did one series as well, didn't they? So basically, you didn't look very hard, did you?
No, I mean I've watched them all about 6 times, so I must have. But
I'm pretty certain it's on YouTube somewhere. But that was.
Yeah, it's all on Now TV for a while as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's still there.
It's such a shame they never made another series of that because I thought they did a really good job of that.
It really is, yeah. It's incredible.
Because for those who don't know Setlist, it's stand up without a net, isn't it? Is the tagline?
Yeah.
And they throw you, I think it was 6 or 7 on the night. It's obviously edited down, but I think it was 6 or 7 just random bits of nonsense on a screen behind you. Could be one word, could be a whole sentence, and it's basically you have to pass whatever they put up on screen as off as your set list. You have to look back and go, so that's what I was going to talk about next. And it's Love it. I really, really, really love doing it. And I did a few live ones in Edinburgh, and then their run at Soho Theatre, and then I was selected to do the telly show, and it was, God, that was fun. That was so much fun. It was actually filmed.
Yeah.
Everyone did. Basically, the cast and crew, because it was Paul Provenza that organised it all. He's such a comedy aficionado. The whole team were Babs, Roman, and Troy Conrad, and Paul himself. They love comedy so much that they wanted it to be perfect for everyone. They filmed it over 2 nights in case someone had a stinker. So it was actually 2 sets amalgamated into one for everyone. Nobody did, as far as I know. I think everyone just had a thoroughly good time. They picked a really good venue for it. It was the Fridge in not the Fridge. Was it Fridge in? No, that's Fridge isn't in Brixton. I can't. What are live venues? I've forgotten what live venues are.
Yeah. They don't exist anymore, I don't think.
Oh, what was it? Anyway, cut that bit out. They picked they picked just the right venue for it. They kept in bits in the edit of people struggling and then redeeming themselves, because that's the joy of it. People digging themselves into a hole. Well, like one of the ones I got was, I think, police poetry they put up, and I could have just done a sort of a routine on it, but I said, I'm now going to read you some poetry. And had to pull a book out of my pocket and just make up a poem on the spot. And this is where you can see the beads of sweat starting to drip. Go, oh, what the fuck did I say that for? And it wasn't great, but I sort of got enough of a round of applause to pull out after one verse. I was like, no, that's it. That's the poem.
Yeah.
And Christ. But it was so much fun. And another interesting thing about that edit is I'd come from doing my own show, and I was doing a show at the South Bank for the first recording, and I was hosting a cabaret show as my own cabaret fantastique at South Bank, and I had a bottle of wine backstage, and every time I introduced an act, I'd come and have a little drink, and I thought some of the acts had been having some of the wine as well, and it turns out none of them were drinking wine. It had just been me, through nerves, at having to go and do this recording after this show. And I just got through a whole bottle of wine, and I'm in the cab going to the record and going, I'm seeing double. I'm wrecked. And it was just pure nerves. And it was just this sort of, natural, just the hand was going up and drinking, just like it was water, and just hadn't noticed it on stage because of the adrenaline. But then this sort of new wave had come over me on the cab there of just like, oh God, I'm in trouble. Unfortunately, for the meal before everyone went on, it was just the saltiest chicken and chips you could ever imagine.
Oh, perfect.
I was like, oh, that'll do. But you can see when it does the close-ups, just my glazed, drunken eyes. And then suddenly in the next shot, I'm looking a bit more with it. That was the second night where I'd done it sober. So it was a really interesting edit, that one.
Oh, amazing. I'm going to have to watch that again.
Yeah.
I'll watch it later.
But my thinking as well, I didn't sort of panic too much, because most of the set lists that I'd done in Edinburgh, I'd done after doing a full show, then maybe another mixed bill show, and then going on to do set list at midnight, where most people were pretty drunk anyway, and that felt like actually the natural states to be in. I'd got myself into my Edinburgh Fringe late night state, having got the energy and adrenaline from already doing a show, a really fun show, and then dashing off to do this.
But then the beauty of Edinburgh Fringe in that situation is you've built up a tolerance.
Absolutely, yeah.
You'll have been drinking constantly for days.
Yeah, but I think this was filmed in September, so it wasn't. I'd probably still cursing through my bloodstream.
Yeah, still had a bit of blood in your wine stream, as it were.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Right, I should probably take this tea bag out, shouldn't I? After that.
Yeah. Well, which one is it you've got? The digest one.
Yeah. Shall I leave it in for a bit longer?
All right, well, it's entirely up to you. If you're not that keen on tea, then maybe take it out. But then it's not going to taste like normal tea anyway.
Look, no, I suppose not. I prefer water to tea.
Yeah.
So I should probably take it out by now.
Yeah, because it says on the back, I think they suggest, 3+ minutes. Now, for instance, I've finished my tea that I had, but that bag is still in the cup. So that is definitely 3+ minutes.
Sure.
I always just leave it in there.
Well, I haven't put any sugar in yet. Don't know whether I should. It smells quite sweet. I'm getting...
That would be the apple.
The apple is hitting me, yeah. Weirdly, before the spearmint, I'm not getting any spearmint in there yet. But I'm going to leave that. It's far too hot still. So anyway, let's go. Let's move. Are we moving through IMDb?
Yeah, sure. Go on. I'll go back to it. I'll tell you what.
I'm
actually,
waiting
while I'm
into the real dregs now of just the student films probably that I've done. Or
yeah, well, the first thing you got on there is Nathan Barley.
Oh yeah,
which I tried to rewatch recently, and it's not aged well.
I disagree.
Oh, do you think?
I maybe saw it a couple of years ago again. I think it's aged really well. I think it's sort of come into. I think the hipsters have only got more hipstery.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why did you not think so?
It was just some of the dialogue, like a little bit sort of too close to the knuckle. I think. I don't know. Maybe I was in a sensitive place when I was watching it. I think I'll try it again. It's all on all four, I think. So
yeah, it is. Yeah. I was because I found it on there. I was like, oh great, I'll definitely have a watch of that again. Yeah, my role in that is very much blink and you miss it. I would not blame anyone for missing me in that. It's a little club scene where I say one line, but again, just lovely to be working with Chris Morris and Charlie Brooker.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Again, like ticking so many boxes for me. There's grew up like Chris Morris is still just a huge idol.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And Charlie Brooker, of course. Like, I've still got I've on the shelf just behind me TV Go Home, which is still one of the funniest books ever made. Just the TV listings parody where I first got to know him and Charlie Brooker and oh god, that's my go-to book. If I need to pick me up, I'll turn to any page on that and something will have me giggling. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, my go-to book for that sort of thing. Not that I don't read that much. I'd like to. I used to read loads when I was younger, and now I generally read the same book for about 6 months, and I might get through it. I'm just very slow.
Well, here's a tip: get a toddler, and then exactly the same thing will happen, but you will slightly lose the guilt over that.
Yeah, nice.
I could recommend that.
Oh, I'll look into it.
The thing is, I keep buying books, and it's just like I've already got this pile by my bed of ones that lie there unread or half read, or yeah. Christ, I've just got through *Sapiens*, and it's taken me most of 2020. But what a journey!
Yeah, my go-to book for that very thing is Acaster's Classic Scrapes.
Oh, I still haven't bought that, and I really should.
Have you not? Oh, it's so funny.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
He strikes me as a tea drinker.
I bet he is. Yeah,
he likes a weird tea.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, let's delve into this, shall we? I'm going to go in sugarless. Which let's see. So we've got, just to recap: spearmint, apple, rooibos, and a baobab. Oh, it's still hot as fuck.
Yeah, that was a reaction of that was a mistake.
It really was.
That's the problem. Like where it's sort of like these teas where it's just a tea bag and hot water. There's no milk to cool it down.
No, there's not. And this is the problem that I have with tea slightly, is it doesn't seem to have that sort of punchy hit that like, I don't know, like a hot chocolate. I love a hot chocolate. That's my go-to hot drink of choice. Obviously, you get that fulsome chocolate. Like, it still tastes like hot water that someone's just put something in, which I know, of course, it is.
Yeah.
But
yeah. See, I don't think that. I don't know. Is it? No, I don't think this tastes like that. The Focus one. That's just sort of. It's quite fruity.
That's not bad though. That one.
Yeah.
The spearmint's really subtle, and the apple is quite overwhelming. It's kind of just like hot apple at the moment. I'm not
interesting.
And the baobab, I have no idea whether I'm tasting that or not because I don't know what that tastes of.
I don't know what it is or what it tastes of.
See, that's not unpleasant, but I just wouldn't choose to drink. I wouldn't choose to drink it. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remain. I think after this, a non-tea drinker, but.
No, that's okay. That's fair.
I could be. Well, I'm interested by the peppermint leaves one. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a third one before my Southern Trains journey. But
no.
But the Marrakesh mint, actually, yeah, I'm quite impressed with. I like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, cool. I like that one. I've got loads more of those. So should we gig together again in the near future, I'll bring some with me.
Oh, it'll be a lovely bonding moment before a gig.
Yeah.
Throat warmer before a gig.
Yeah, we'll both have a mint tea. You can urinate luminously, and I'll go on stage itching.
I told you, look at this.
Yeah, that's a complete different bonding moment altogether. But
yeah, another thing I would recommend getting a toddler for to assuage any guilt about talking about or looking at body fluids.
Yeah, I've not got a toddler myself, but I've got a young nephew
as well. They're free. You get them free.
Oh yeah. Well, I've got a toddler that lives next door, and I don't think they like him very much. They seem to shout a lot, so I'll just go and Just go and take him.
Oh,
I think that's darker than it's supposed to come out.
It's been a long lockdown. Oh.
Yeah, it really has. Oh, God. Right, now, before I continue with IMDb, because I may not go back to it, I've got some teamergency questions, which it's more of a homage to Richard Herring's.
Herring, yes.
Section. Yeah.
Herring.
But it's changed to tea instead of just emergency. That was lovingly named by Stuart Goldsmith, because I did call them emergency questions, and then he pulled me up on that. He's like, yeah.
He's always working, that man. Always working.
Right, I've got a few that are like tea based, but I feel like I can avoid those because
I can make stuff.
Well,
up.
actually, do you know you had a tea earlier? What biscuit did you have with it? Oh, not biscuit.
I didn't.
Dairy milk.
I had dairy milk because there was a bit in the fridge, so I just snapped off a bit of that and thought, I'll have that. But I've got some ginger nuts in the cupboard if you want me to munch on that.
No, you don't have to. I was just going to ask what your go-to biscuit would be.
My go-to with a tea.
I think, that's generally how I'd mean it. But if you don't have tea, then
ginger nuts for my wife, and so I think I would agree with her on that. I think that would be that's a good compliment. That's a good complementary biscuit for it. Yeah, I think oats. Yeah. Oats and hot beverages would probably go well. I think I would. Yeah, and that gingery hit would obviously take away the taste of the tea. So I think that'd be the
sure. That's the only reason I like them.
Yeah, it'd be the perfect one. I think. I'm gonna go ginger nut.
Nice. Yeah, good choice. Right, that's pretty much the end of any relevant tea question for you because the other ones just don't matter.
Make it up, but all right.
Right. I've got a new teamergency question that I wrote down about 3 weeks ago and forgot that I wrote it down.
All right.
So I'm going to ask it. What insect freaks you out the most, and is it because it has so many legs?
The earwig. Not a leg thing. It's not the legs. I haven't got a problem with the legs. No problem with the legs. It's the back bit.
Yeah.
It's that bit. And I never had a problem with earwigs until, and this is probably a lot of people of my generation are affected by this, until I saw Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. Where it puts you remember it? You've seen it?
No, I've not seen it in a long time.
Well, I saw this I saw it a long time ago, and it stayed with me. It's where he gets the little earwig type thing, and he actually puts it in his ear, and it drives him insane. And it goes, and it burrows into his ear, and he goes mental.
Yeah.
So as you would.
Yeah, I've seen that happen in more than one film.
And it was that thing was just too like an earwig. Well, I think it was an earwig, but it was so it was too much. So them. Yeah.
No, that's fair. Yeah, that is. That's a very good answer because earwigs are absolutely horrendous.
But that back bit, I don't think it does anything. I don't think they can't pinch with it, can they? The arse pinchers.
I don't know. It's an interesting question because is it the number of like things that they've got like prongs denotes their gender? I think.
What? This sounds like first class bullshit.
Yeah, it could be. It's something that I think I was told when I was a toddler.
Haven't they all got two little prongs at the back?
No, I think some of them have one.
Do they?
Don't know. Maybe.
I'm going to look this up afterwards. So there's one lady prong for a female earwig and two.
We can look it up now.
Go on then. Live fact checking.
Female.
If you put this on Twitter, you'd get the box underneath. You get this may contain false information. Go on, I can't believe that's true. I've never seen. I think I've only ever seen them with two.
Maybe I've just seen ones that someone's pulled one off of.
Look up earwig arse prongs.
What do earwigs do with those pincers anyway? That's an article.
Oh, good.
It's quite long.
That time. All right. Oh, well, that's good. That's. I will have a read of that.
Yeah, there's a long answer to it, and
I'm glad they're functional. Doesn't make them less, does it?
Oh, they're sensory organs like antennae.
Haven't they got antenna as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Greedy bastards.
Yeah.
We dislike them all the more.
Yeah. One for the reversing, I guess.
This earwig is reversing.
Yeah, mine. The reason that I have the I can't think of the word. The reason that I ask also if it's because of the legs is because mine is millipedes. Because they're just creepy. They're weird, weird little things.
Yeah, I find it strangely hypnotic. The rhythmic wave of the legs.
It's quite impressive. Yeah,
it's very impressive. It's great.
It's a biological feat for sure.
Oh, it is. That's I think that's part of nature's majesty. Just that ripple of leg. I think it's a beautiful thing. I would watch that in slow motion. HD.
I've got written here, are millipedes the limousines of woodlice?
That's nice. That's very nice. Or are woodlice Shetland millipedes?
There's the question.
Yeah.
So, but woodlice still have like hundreds of legs. Well, not hundreds, but dozens, tens of.
Again, reeks of bullshit. But let's not look.
Yeah. No, I think they've got like 12, which is enough. Yeah, quite a lot. Which, now that you bring that up in the sort of the way that they move, that I find snakes absolutely fascinating. Like when you hold them, because you can feel every single like muscle moving as they're moving.
Oh yeah,
it's absolutely incredible. I thought for a long time that, because my mum's terrified of snakes, so I just sort of avoided touching snakes really for a lot of my childhood. And then one of my friends had a snake, and they were like, "Do you want to hold it?" I was like, "Oh, no, not really." "Oh, is it slimy?" No, it's not slimy. No. It's just really nice.
Leathery.
Yeah.
I think they're all magnificent. I don't really have any animal phobias. I don't think. I was never attacked by one as a child.
Yeah.
But anything really.
I used to be scared of dogs.
But I don't think it was really attacking. It was just being an earwig.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like I say, until I saw that film, it's really bad anti-earwig propaganda.
Yeah.
Until I saw the Wrath of Khan, yeah.
I think there's, I'm sure it's Family Guy. I was going to say I'm sure it's The Simpsons, but it's Family Guy. And Tom Tucker puts a brain-eating earwig in his ear.
Sure.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I think it's been referenced a number of times. It's clearly affected a lot of people. I'm surprised if you've seen it. I'm surprised you've managed to blank it out. That shows real mental stamina on your part, if I may say.
Well, if anything, I may have blocked out, a damaging memory, because I have always thought that an earwig was ready to climb into my ear and to eat my brain. So
yeah,
maybe I just remembered it, but sort of blocked it out as well.
I'll tell you what I bloody love though, since you asked.
Go on.
Tardigrades. These are
no idea.
Oh well, this you can lose yourself down a little YouTube, an article-based wormhole here. This is I'm not. I will allow you to look into their majesty. The tardigrade. It's a little sort of microscopic being that looks. They're called water bears because they look like little. They look like a sort of mole in a sleeping bag, like a weird inflated sort of thing around them, and they are basically almost invincible. They're amazing tardigrades. Yeah, they're incredible. They've blasted them into space. They've sent them into underneath the ocean. They put them into sub-zero temperatures. They've almost fried them alive, and they're virtually invincible. And they can almost die and then be brought back to life with a drop of water. They go into like a little state, which is like a husk. And they're amazing, and scientists are genuinely looking into what gives them these properties. They're almost invincible, and there's a theory that they're not of Earth, that they might have come from an asteroid.
Yeah,
originally.
I mean, it looks like. I mean, it's got a nozzle,
and they don't even look intimidating. They look quite friendly. It's got a nozzle. Yeah, they're the weirdest creature, but they are fascinating.
Yeah,
and then look up then here's another follow up: the eternal jellyfish as well. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
The top question on the people also ask is, can you kill a tardigrade?
Should you? Should surely be the more moral question. But yeah, and the answer is yes, but with a lot of difficulty.
Yeah. The explanation looked hard.
Tardigrades.
Yeah. Eternal jellyfish.
Well, don't look it up now.
No, but I'll forget to look it up otherwise.
Sure.
Oh, no, I won't. We're recording this.
I want to spread. If there's one thing that people take from this, it's tardigrades over tea.
Yeah,
the greatest.
Best thing about tardigrades, it's got tea. If you move the letters around,
it sort of does.
Yeah,
there's definitely an anagram in this. I'm gonna make a tardigrade based tea anagram by the end of this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
I'm gonna multitask.
Yeah. Right, I've got another question. Now, this one leads on from a story from a few podcasts ago, where the guest I had on was telling me about how he was getting a taxi home, and the taxi driver told him that it was a healer, and he said that he was able to produce smoke from his fingers.
This sounds like a Carl Donnelly story.
Oh, it's not, actually.
He always seems to meet this kind of character, but go on.
Yeah, that does sound like it. Really does. Well, do you know what? I'm going to have him back on at some point. He was my first guest, Carl. So I'm looking forward to getting. I'll ask him this question.
He'll have
He'll be like, oh, I've met that guy.
He'll have a dozen more stories since the last one.
Yeah,
he was on last night actually. Really, oh god, he's good.
Oh, it was great.
Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted your flow.
No, that's fine. So, right, when they pulled up outside my friend's house, like, obviously, the taxi driver told my friend that he could do this, and he sort of looked at him as if to say, no, you can't. And then when he pulled up outside my friend's house, he got out, and then he took the money and just went, and smoke come out of his fingers.
Weirdly, that reminds me of an early Marcel influence. There was some French friends of the family. There was it was a guy called Claude, and it was a couple that my folks met on holiday in Greece, I think, a few years ago. Well, they were pregnant with me, and Claude, Martine and Claude was such a typical Frenchman. He smoked just this insane amount of cigarettes, and he was just this charming, lovely. He was just full of life, and one of his tricks that he did when I was a small child was the ash through the hand trick, every time he did it, I had so much ash rubbed into my hands as a small child, which probably in an Obelixian way turned me into Marcel in later life. And it was just that, I can make ash travel through your hand. So he'd rub a bit of ash onto the back of my hand, and then obviously with his thumb, and then obviously get the thumb on the bottom of my hand and turn it over, and suddenly it was probably better than that, but then suddenly the ash had gone. He'd rubbed off the ash from the back of my hand and popped some more underneath. Basically a French guy who just covered me in nicotine as a child. Yeah.
But it's done you a favour in the long run. So
still alive at 41.
Marcel, right. So this story of the man who produced smoke from his fingers leads me to ask the question: if you had to die from evaporation, what part of you would you want to evaporate first?
What?
Yeah, because the conversation led me to assume that the man was evaporating.
Right. Wouldn't have happened if he was a tardigrade.
No.
He'd have weathered it. To evaporate first.
Yeah.
The appendix.
Oh, okay.
Is that a sneaky answer? Don't need.
Yeah. Well, the whole of you is going to evaporate.
Oh, I'm going to.
So you're just evaporating from the appendix outwards.
Well, the heart then, I'd say, because then I'm gone, aren't I? And then I don't have to feel the rest of myself disintegrate.
Yeah, sure.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-hearter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Although you wouldn't die immediately, you'd die very quickly. But the
brain, maybe the brain, so I can't process it.
Yeah.
So it is. So no brain. So it is a no-brainer. Yeah, no brain. Yeah. I'd have no brain.
I said it'd be the brain because I just thought it would be funny for anybody looking on. They'd just see you slowly become vacant.
That's such a comedian's answer, isn't it? Just like worried about what other people are thinking. Just like, how's this going to play with the audience before me?
Yeah. If I'm going to evaporate on stage, brain first. Right. Let's see. Are there any more questions? I don't think.
Well, here's the answer to a question that hasn't been asked.
Go on.
Rad T-grid.
Okay.
Tardigrade anagram. Rad T-grid.
Yeah.
Like a really good. A really well organised set of tea.
Okay, right. Okay, I was taking a mick out of it at first in my head, not out loud. But now that you've explained it that way, I quite like it. Yeah, fair play. Yeah, you've won me over. Rad T grid. I'd write that down, but
you'd write that down.
There's no need.
It's pointless information.
Yeah. There's absolutely. I'll never use that again.
No.
Yeah, that'll be a new teamergency question. Is what is your favourite anagram of tardigrade?
I would like to thank Twining's Digest for the speed at which I came up with it, though. That's massively quick, wasn't it?
Yeah. If you hadn't had that, then no chance that your brain would have.
That'd be the baobab. That's the baobab.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. A friend of mine, I've only had that tea once before, and it was with a friend of mine who's a taxidermy dealer. Just a very interesting man. He does improv as well, so sort of I had him on.
Not in his job, I hope.
No.
Just on stage. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Extra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Improvisational taxidermist. That's the sort of thing they'd throw up on set list, and you'd have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Improvisational taxidermist.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Although he's not a taxidermist, he's a taxidermy dealer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Although he's very good, and he does do some taxidermy, so technically not incorrect, but largely.
So he's a dealer, so he has to weigh up the shitness of a bit of taxidermy. He's like, well, that's a bit. There's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing like what it's meant to look like.
Well, he's got a shop in Leigh-on-Sea, sort of down the road from where I live, and he's got like the shop out the front where obviously it's everything that he sells, and then he's got a little section in the middle which he calls the museum, and then he's got a workshop out the back. But in the museum there's like loads of stuff. There's loads of really incredible, like really rare stuff.
Great.
As well as
a
whole section that is dedicated to. No, he hasn't got any dodos. But it's got. I don't think anyway. I don't want to. Probably not. But it's got a whole section dedicated to crap taxidermy.
Oh, I bet that sells the best.
Yeah, well, they're in his private collection, so they're not for sale.
Oh, nice.
But he does sell some of it occasionally, but yeah, on the whole, he's got like 2 crap foxes up on the wall that are like, they're pulling ridiculous faces that like foxes could never possibly pull. But he loves them.
I would go to a crap taxidermy museum.
Yeah.
My favourite crap taxidermy is at a museum, actually. It's not, well, would it count as crap taxidermy? It's unfortunate taxidermy. It's the Horniman Museum. I don't know if you've ever been there in South London. Great museum anyway, just really eclectic, lovely museum, and great for kids as well. We started going there with little Ronnie, and he loves it. And I love the walrus, the stuffed walrus in there, which was stuffed by a man who'd never seen a walrus. So back in the day, they got this a walrus carcass to put in the museum, and not realising that the walrus is quite a foldy creature. He stuffed it until it could be stuffed no more, thinking that's what it was. So it's this enormous, obese walrus that's there just with no folds in it whatsoever. It's great. It looks awesome.
Oh wow, that's amazing! I'd love to see one of those dogs. You know, the ones that are like they're just all folds of fur.
An inflated.
Yeah,
pug.
I'd love to see one of those.
We'd all like to see an
inflated.
Like a pufferfish, but with 2 little legs.
Right, I'm gonna ask my friend if he can.
Yeah, that's improvisation taxidermy, my friend.
Yeah. Right, we are approaching the time that you need to get off. So I will ask, have you got anything to plug?
Well, I might need that quite soon, actually. Yeah, the tip of my wang as the tea courses through me, and I try not to piss myself on a southern train, but less. Vulgarly. Anything to plug?
Sure.
It's an interesting time to plug things, isn't it? There's not much going on show wise. Edinburgh's off. What can I plug? I have a Ko-fi page. Let's do that. Let's get some cash. Ko-fi.com/Alexis Dubus, and I put some silly little videos that I've made in lockdown. I'm putting stuff up there as and when I make it. I'm going to put some new poems up there quite soon. I'm going to film some of them, and if you like what you see, give me some money for tea.
Amazing. For specifically peppermint tea or a rad tea grid.
Yeah, I'm saving up for a rad tea grid.
Nice.
No.
While people are still listening, I also have a Ko-fi page. So kofi.com/sidees. Go and find it. Send me money.
We need it. Right. Well, I'm off to earn some by doing what I love on a stage. Very, very excited.
Yeah, very nice. I only had I had one gig for this weekend, like booked in, but it was in Kent, so it's been cancelled.
Yeah, I've had a few of them. I had some Gloucester ones that are now off, but postponed.
Yeah.
Postponed.
Bugger. Yes, absolutely.
Like all our careers.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you for the acceptable tea.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, I'm glad I sent you stuff that you actually liked. Yeah. And you didn't have any sugar at all in that one.
No. That was sugar-free tea. I was the Marrakesh one I applied with tea, but it sort of, took me back. Actually, there was another thing from someone who doesn't drink tea. I did have that lovely little vague flashback of the last time I had Marrakesh mint tea in Marrakesh, and doing the ridiculous pouring thing with the. I think I sort of enjoyed the routine more than the end product of the pouring it from a ridiculous height and then back it out, and then obviously drinking the tea and then being sold some homemade art by that man who had called me in for that express purpose, not just for a chat. No, there's a sales pitch at the end, which I duly fell for and still have.
Yeah, nice. Is it up on your wall?
Je ne regrette rien. It's not actually. No, we're doing a bit of a shift around of art at the moment. Yeah, basically to make room for more storage, less art, more shelves. So it's again having a toddler.
Yes, absolutely. Is that a new TV you got behind you?
Yeah, it is. That's not me trying to. That's a Black Friday telly. We traded our ancient telly and finally got a smart TV. So that's not me showing off a box in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, having a toddler, I didn't know if that was a box for a TV or a castle.
It's both, actually. It's currently both. And we've watched, we only installed it yesterday, and I've watched nothing except In the Night Garden, which you see in expert clarity.
Yeah.
Iggle Piggle is beautifully rendered on that telly. I can tell you that. Nothing else.
Nice. Right. Cool. I'll let you get off.
Brilliant.
So thanks so much for coming on, man. It's been really, really fun. Oh, where can people find you online as a
online? Oh, well, AlexisDubus.com, Instagram, the usuals, YouTube, stuff up there. I've got some old albums for sale on the brand new compact disc format on the website, old live albums and that sort of thing. And and the new Marcel one's just gone up on Next Up as well. If you're on that, Next Up, I'll recommend
great.
that. Great comedy viewing emporium, and it's my one from Edinburgh with a live band, with a jazz band. It's
amazing!
A lot of fun.
Nice, cool thing. Right, I'll check that out.
Good.
I haven't yet.
I'm gonna go for a piss in a train.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah, I'd recommend if you've had 2 cups of tea today, have 2 pisses if you can.
Really good idea. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
really good idea.
There's my sage advice to leave you on.
Adieu.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
See you later.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
So that was Alexis Dubus, or Marcel Lucont, as you may likely know him more. Don't forget to go and check out his show on Next Up Comedy and go to his website and buy whatever merch and stuff you want to. You can find him. He's on Twitter. He's at Alexis Dubus. And he's on Instagram as Alexis Dubus Comedy and Alexis Dubus Photography as well. That's also him. But as his work as a photographer, go and check that out too, because he's very good. Yeah, don't forget our Ko-fi pages if you can and want to support us. Ko-fi.com/Alexis Dubus, Ko-fi.com/Deaves, particularly Deaves. Remember him, just because it's going to help me sort of keep the podcast going and that sort of thing, because the costs run up and the editing time is plentiful, so there's lots to do. My brain's a bit frazzled, so I'm not going to keep this going on too long. I just want to say, have a really lovely Christmas. Thank you for tuning in this year. The numbers have been great. It's been nice to be able to sort of reach out to a lot of people and hear from a lot of people and just know that I'm sort of getting through to a lot of people as well. It's really, really lovely. It makes me feel very good indeed. So thank you very much for listening this past year. I look forward to seeing you next year. Anything else that I'm writing, I'll put in the podcast description when I get time to think about it. So yeah, until we meet again, go and like and subscribe, tell all your friends, and otherwise, have a lovely, lovely festive period. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I'll see you soon. Drink tea. Enjoy Christmas, however you can. See you later. Bye.